Hey people, so I am going to continue my little thing with the sensors and new mechanics. Last time I did timers and this time I will do some logic gates. I've done 5 of them. No? Yes I have. Okay, and I'll just try to explain some terms. Logic gates are used in electronics and programming. Well, the actual gates are used in electronics to do logical operations. Um, each type of gate behaves differently depending on their input, and I'll be explaining that as we go. First off, this thing is the incoming signal. When it's up like that, there is the signal is low, there's no signal coming in, and when it's down, the signal is high, there is a pulse coming in. And I actually think I placed this first one a bit far out, so it won't actually make contact. I just got to fix that. 1 second. Yeah, that should do it. I think. Okay. This platform in the middle is the actual gate, and the last one over here is an indicator, which if it lights up, then the output is high. So yeah. The first gate here is a NOT gate, also known as an inverter. If there is no input or input is low, the output will be high, and if the input is high, then the output will be low because it's inverting. So if we just click this one and turn the input high, we should get a low output, and we do. And if we turn the input low again, we should get a high output, and we do. So that works brilliantly. Now the next one is an OR gate. Basically the output is high if one or both of the inputs are high. So if we turn the first one on, we should get a high output, and we do. Turn that off again and turn the other input on, we should get a high output, and we do. And if we have both outputs on, we should be getting a high output still. So it works as intended. The next one is an AND gate. It will only trigger high output if both inputs are high. So if we just turn the first input on, we get no output. Turn the second input on, still get no output. Turn both inputs on, and we get a high output. Next one is an Xor gate, Xor, or however you want to pronounce that one. It basically turns on if one of the inputs are on. If both the inputs are on, the output will be off, and if both the inputs are off, the output will be off as well. I've started using off and on instead of high and low because I think it's easier to understand for people who don't dabble with electronics. Anyhow, turning the first input on, and we get a high output. We get an output that is on. Turn it off again, turn the second input on, and we get on the output. Now if we have both inputs on, we get off on the output, and if we have both inputs off, we get off on the output. The last one is a NAND gate. Basically the output will be on unless both inputs are on. If both inputs are off, or one of the inputs are on, the output will be on, and if both inputs are on, the output will be off. So we're turning on the first input, it is on. Turning on the second input, it is still on. Turning on both inputs, and the output is off. So once again, working as it is supposed to as a logic gate. I might do more of this in the future, but I've experienced some glitches that is kind of discouraging to me. So I'm not going to develop it too much right now, but I'm not sure. Anyhow, the glitches I've found is that using large and small chips to trigger it will not work. If you use a small chip, it will trigger it when it enters the field, as in when it turns on, it will trigger the on effect. But when you go outside the field with the small chip, it will not trigger the off effect, which kind of leaves them stuck. I'll just demonstrate. Let's get in there, and it's triggered, but it will not trigger on the way out. And it's the exact opposite with large chips. They will not trigger on the way in, which is kind of a big deal. But they will trigger on their way out. So there's that, but that wrecks this whole concept. You can't, well, no, you can't do it without those features. So yeah, you're kind of stuck with using station objects or players. But yeah, anyhow, that is all I have for now. Thank you for watching. If you have any, actually I should perhaps just go look at what I've actually done here before I sign off, otherwise it's kind of pointless. The Nand Gate is kind of straightforward. This one flips over and activates. Actually, I'm just going to reset that because now it's not as it's supposed to. Okay. Yeah, I'll just reset that. There we go. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. It flips over and the output's high. Over here we have when I turn the first, that's the Xor Gate, so that means that either one of them or both can activate the output. If I activate the first input, this one will flip over and activate. If I activate the second output, this one will flip the opposite direction and activate. If both are on, this one is still flipped over and this one will just flip back into nothing, but it'll still be on. With the AND gate, we have two rotors on top of each other. Each will rotate 90 degrees. That means if only one of them are off, it will still only rotate 90 degrees, but if both are on, they will rotate the full 180 degrees and get back here and activate. And with the Xor Gate, it is if I activate one of them, well, it's basically the same deal as the AND gate, except everything is flipped 90 degrees. Basically, if one is on, either one, they will flip 90 degrees this way, activating. But if both are on, they will flip a full 180 degrees and deactivate. Okay, and for the NAND gate, basically, when they're both off, they're stuck in this position, turning it on as supposed to. If I turn the first input on, the whole rig will rotate 90 degrees, putting this rod into this place, still keeping it activated. If I activate the second input with the first input off, this one will just flip back here doing nothing, but it'll still be activated. And if I turn both inputs on, this will flip 90 degrees this way and this will flip 90 degrees that way, meaning that this basically stays in place, but that will be out here turning the whole thing off. So yeah, I think that is all. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions regarding this video or space in years in general, feel free to ask in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer and help. So see ya.